Morning.
Morning. Mike, when we talked to Dak yesterday, he framed the decision in the context of it was probably a little bit more about than just this game. How do you look at the decision on whether or not he plays on Sunday?
Oh, I agree. I mean, I agree with your question and answer. It's more than just this game. I mean, we're obviously in our 7th game, so there's a ton of football left to play. So that's definitely part of the decision, and just giving him the time that's needed to take it all in. I'll just to give you an update. He was sore when he came in today, but that was part of the plan where he did more yesterday, Thursday, than he did on Wednesday. So we'll see how he goes through the workout today.
What will he do today when you guys have your regen day? Does he go and do his stuff with Britt again?
No, I mean, he'll go through the regen, and then he'll just stay on course.
When, like I say, all of these injuries are specific to a player, and you have to take the information at the time. But like you were talking about Aaron Rodgers earlier in the week, I mean, how does that factor in too when you're looking at another injury that's similar, a guy in a certain position, and how it played out before?
Definitely. I think all your past experiences you look to. I mean, Aaron's specific injury was, a different time of year, different part of the calf, so different timeline. But the reality of it is, it's the most important position on our football team, just because of how it affects the game and what he means to our football team. So, yeah, but it's his injury is specific to how he did it and the timeline that he needs to stay on.
Outside of soreness, how did he come through after pushing it more yesterday?
Good. No, he's confident. I mean, he doesn't waver. He wants to play, and he wants to continue to work towards that.
Will you make the decision tomorrow? Will it be a pregame workout sort of thing on Sunday?
Really, I mean, we're focused on today. I mean, just visiting with Britt earlier. He has a plan. He has a workload capacity. He wants to hit. Regen is a big part of his day based off the work he's done Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll just stay on course.
Will Dak do any less today than maybe initially was planned to because of the soreness?
Just he's going to stay. Can I use my last answer?
Sure.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
You got Cooper and Will Greer. How they look this week in practice, especially if you don't have Dak on Sunday?
I think Cooper's had a really good week. Will's taken a lot more snaps, so it's been good for Will to get all the look teams reps. So Will took all the young guy reps yesterday in the extended work. So, but yeah, I think both those guys. Hey, anytime you get reps as a quarterback, it's a good day. So, but I think Cooper's done a nice job.
Would you, because of where you're playing, would you have been indoors this week anyway, regardless of how windy it's been?
No.
Just to simulate the noise.
We're going to try to get outside tomorrow, just to make the point. I mean, I think any time you play indoors or whatever surface you're playing on, the norm would be to practice on that surface on Saturday. But the fact that we've been inside 2 days, the goal is to get outside tomorrow.
How hard is this? You got obviously we talked about the crowd noise there, and he's naturally going to have that. So how has Cooper and Will handled that this week in practice?
Well, I mean, the silent count, you remember you have walkthroughs and all that are going on. Actually, the offense and defense just completed one. So, I mean, you're working that all the time. We do the pre-practice, extension of the quarterback center exchange with the whole line on Thursday. So, we're emphasizing it, and, it's part of our normal process.
Micah talked yesterday about feeling like he had been in a mental slump going into the bye week. How often do you see that with rookies, and what's the key to fighting that?
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Micah didn't play last year, so you got to be conscientious of that. Any rookie that goes into his first NFL season, I mean, it's just a long year. I mean, it's a lot longer. You start earlier, so, but it's something that you keep your eye on individually, but it's also part of why we do as many of the young player meetings as we can, just to make sure we're giving them the extra work, answering the questions that they may not be getting answered in the larger meetings. But yeah, so I mean, it's tough for the rookies just because it's their it's their first time through, and I think everybody, even especially the rookies, enjoyed the break last week.
If indeed Sunday would be Cooper Rush's first NFL start, how do you evaluate his readiness just based on what you've seen?
He'll be ready to go. I mean, if he's up, he'll be ready to go. Yeah. We still got some time. Yeah.
Is your approach different coming off of the bye week as far as how you conduct practice or what you're looking for in practice or emphasize since guys have been away for a week, or
Different from
or
what?
is it just picking up where we left off?
Oh no, I think I think anytime you have, I know anytime you have a period of time off as a team, there's a transition back into the full workload that you have to take the team through. So I mean, and that's all calculated into the weight workouts, on Monday, how you practice them. I mean, the practice on Monday is one that I've learned over time you have to be very, very careful with, because your players are at a little higher risk for, fatigue injuries and things like that, because, so much of what we do as a team is we train together, everything's calculated, everything's evaluated, so you have a really good feel you're on top of where they are. But and then he goes 7 days away, and the guys, we had a lot of players here throughout the week off. I mean, all the way through Sunday. I saw guys in here on Sunday. So guys, they all stayed on their individual workouts. We're in here in the mornings. The mornings were really busy in here, but they're not all training together. So there's, my point is there's variance in that 7 days. So you just got to be smart transitioning back into a full workload.
What does it say about Micah when he said he shows up here at 5 o'clock in the morning, well, 5:30 in the morning instead of 7, because he wanted to get here early. He wanted to improve upon his game.
Yeah, he's doing all the little things. I mean, he's learning to be a pro. He didn't show up that way, so I mean, he's working through it, and very impressed with his growth. He has the individual meetings with Dan Quinn. That's very beneficial. We've asked a lot of him. Especially playing the different positions and the back and forth of it. The communication responsibility that he was also put on his plate. So he's handled everything very well. So the fact of the matter is, he knows he needs the extra time to one-on-one, meetings and so forth. Speaks to his work ethic.
One thing Dak was saying yesterday, he thought that the calf might be related to the ankle injury that he suffered last year. Has the medical people said there's any kind of connection between the two?
I mean, that's something that obviously Dak would know best, and Britt and those guys. But I mean, it's an injury that we're dealing with, and I think like any time a player comes off of a major injury, particularly to joint injuries, that first year he's going to have to go through things that he probably hasn't experienced before.
Offensive line, are you settled on that, or are you still trying to make a decision on Lyle for Sunday?
We're working. This is the plan that we talked about, back on Wednesday. So that's the plan we're working through, and that's the way we'll rep them today.
With Gallup, is there a chance he could go this week, or is this a gradual build-up?
We'll see. I mean, his goal is to get a full week's work in, and so far so good. I think Michael's looked good out there.
When you think about the success y'all have had this year, the neutral mindset that you've tried to maintain, how different does this trip to Minnesota feel than last year when you're going and bringing watermelons to smash? Well,
this will be a totally different environment that we're playing in. So I mean, that's part of it. I think they're playing, they're playing better than, well, I thought they're playing, they were playing pretty darn good when we went up there last year too. So this will be a different challenge. I mean, it always is year to year, but just the environment that we're playing in will be totally different. So this will be a big challenge.
Did you leave some watermelons at the hotel last year for this trip, or?
I don't think watermelons last that long.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.